Today I'm going to be doing a different type of review. I'm not so much into comics, but this particular series caught my interest, and I'm really grateful that I was able to get them. And it is the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen movie prequel Defiance series, which is half of the Destiny saga, the other half being the Alliance, which takes place after the movie, actually right after the reign of Starscream sagas. But I really wanted to focus more on this one because the Alliance saga is more of is very throwaway. It doesn't really connect to plot, except for certain parts such as Starscream's tribal tattoos. But the part I really wanted to get to with the Defiance saga is that it really shows what life was like before the war broke out, at least from IDW's point of view. Such as, from this point on, there are going to be certain spoilers about the comic and the potential spoilers for the movie itself. Such as with Defiance 1, where you go through it and it starts with an epic shot of unknown Transformer at the point, flying to Cybertron, and you eventually find out it's actually Starscream flying, and he's actually being fixed by Ratchet, and which is a quite an interesting point. And then Ironhide comes out, and this is just basically gives a overall view that Ironhide and Starscream are both comrades for the military, led by the Lord High Protector Megatron, who's the leader of military, while Optimus Prime was more of the science and spiritual leader of the civilians. They're shown as more of a co-rulers of Cybertron. And by the end of Defiance 1, they come across this artifact. There you go. And Megatron is obsessed with it, just because he thinks it might have the same powers as Allspark. Then he takes it to his room, or to his quarters, and the entire time Optimus and Megatron are fighting about whether the science department should have possession of it, or the military should have possession of it because of the power it could have, while it's obviously an artifact. So throughout this entire issue, without any sort of influence, outside influence for Megatron, they obviously fight a lot, and kind of a backstory is that there's a war raging between this unknown alien race, which you can see Megatron fighting here. But then by the end of the issue, you see that he makes contact with the unknown being trapped inside the artifact, and it temporarily cripples him. And then by the next issue, he becomes the Megatron we know of throughout the movie. Even his eyes change color. They were kind of a white before, as you can see here. Now they're red, and that just shows that he's been influenced by the unknown being that's in this artifact. And then basically throughout the rest of the series, they fight the alien race, and Megatron's military do show a lot more aggressiveness towards winning the war. And then once they finally defeat the alien race, they really Megatron rallies a bunch of troops to go against their Autobot brothers who are holding them back, supposedly. And then by the last issue, you see that things have gone really bad, such as Ironhide, which wasn't really on his side to begin with, was just kind of wandering along, and then decided to join Autobots because he doesn't like the Decepticons' way of fighting the innocent. And one part, which I completely just forgot about until now, which I thought was very interesting. They find another little piece of artifact, which has a mysterious symbol on it, such there, and they're thinking it's linking to the Autobots' ancestry of the Dynasty of Primes, and they notice that this symbol also matches a symbol that's on the side of Optimus's head. So then they come to a realization that somehow, one way or another, that Optimus is connected to the Dynasty of Primes and is himself a Prime. And then from this point on, Optimus takes the title of Prime, which I'm sure may or may not be explained more in the movie adaptation. But I would really like to hear more about the Dynasty of Prime and how Optimus is connected to that, because it's a very unique way of explaining his origins. And then by the last issue, both factions are perfectly split up. Megatron's obviously in the lead, and then at this point, the unknown specimen that's trapped inside the artifact, which is obviously the Fallen, goes about the origins of the as far as they know, the origins of this Allspark, which they don't really know where it came from, and that the Allspark created their beings, which aren't really Transformers. You see kind of a silhouette of them right there, and how powerful the Allspark was, but then its power itself is not everlasting, so they developed these workers to harvest more energy for them, and these became the Transformers we know today. I think that one right there is actually Jetfire, and so forth, until the one that we realize is the Fallen was cast out from his brothers for his evil intentions. And one thing that really caught me by surprise is this particular quote by the Fallen. "Of course it has. My words tell no lies, Megatron. As promised, once we find the Matrix to power the Allspark will be ours, and I will return." This is the first mention of said Matrix, and I'm really curious as to how this will connect with the rest of the story, whether we'll actually see it. Is it any way related to the Matrix of Leadership seen in the G1 cartoon? And this is why I love the Defiance series so much, is because it explains just a bare minimum of stuff for you to be ready to go see the movie, but also leaves you hanging with a bunch of questions like, what's the Dynasty of Primes? What's the Matrix in this story? It just wants you wanting more. One thing I do not like about this comic, which is kind of laughable, is that the artist changed almost every page, practically. In one instant, perfect example. This is issue number 2. At one point, Optimus had the alternate mode that we saw in his protoform toy form, which is Asteroid, but it's with a little bit of changes to make it look more like a vehicle, but you can see it's based on his protoform toy. But then go into one of the later issues, and go into issue 3, just one issue later, and Optimus's vehicle mode has completely changed to this rather, actually pretty impressive looking, just kind of car. I can only really call it an off-road vehicle. It doesn't really resemble anything, but you can see that's his chest right there. I definitely like this mode a lot better. If they could somehow make a toy based on this, I would buy it in a heartbeat, especially if it was Voyager or Leader class size. But yeah, that's just there's a couple little examples like that the art direction changes, but overall I would definitely recommend these as These are quickly selling out. The seller I bought these off of on eBay doesn't sell them anymore. They're not that expensive at all if you can find them secondhand at a comic book shop, which I really don't have many around here. Yeah, I would definitely recommend getting the Defiance series, and maybe just glance at the Alliance one, because that one's it's alright, but it's not nearly as interesting as the Defiance. I definitely, even if you're not really into the comics, I would definitely just pick these up just to get a little bit more backstory before going into the movie. Until next time, thank you for watching.